Hey everyone, it is George Couros. Welcome back to a solo episode of the Innovator's Mindset podcast. And I'm trying to do some short podcasts. I'm trying to do some short ones, hopefully give you a little inspiration, a little thing to think about for the day. I know a lot of people are going into summer break. And just to kind of give you something, maybe you can listen to this on a short walk, get some activity. Hopefully some of you are watching this on YouTube because I am going to show a quote that really inspired this podcast. And I thought about this quote. I was just in a conversation with a good friend of mine, and we talked about when you want like a new opportunity, what do you actually do? And I'm going to share this quote with you first, and then tell a little story. And I'll tell you, this is one of my favorite quotes, and I share it with someone I'm mentoring. He's in his mid-20s, talking about life. We have conversation about this, and this is the quote I share with him all the time. And the credit is given to, and I'm going to say this totally wrong, Alexander Den Hire, and you can see it on the screen. If you spend your time chasing butterflies, they'll fly away. But if you spend your time making a beautiful garden, the butterflies will come. Don't chase, attract. So what does this have to do with education? What does this have to do with learning, with life? And I go back a little bit. I remember that I had no interest ever going into school administration. And I have this conversation with people all the time, you know, really thinking about great leaders. And a lot of times I'll talk to a teacher, say, you'd be a great administrator. And they'll say, that's not what I really want to do. And it's kind of like, well, that's probably why you should do it. If you go into administration because you want power over other people, probably not your role. But if you just have that ability to lead, and when I talk about leadership, I mean it in the sense of having the ability to influence others in a positive direction moving forward. And you can do this from any role. But specifically when I'm talking about administration, I was thinking about when I became an assistant principal, I had no interest in ever becoming an administrator. I applied for an AP job because I was interested in doing technology leadership at the time. And I just thought, hey, this will kind of get my name out there. Maybe I'll be interested. And this was a July job. And if you know anything about education, typically all the admin jobs are filled way prior to that. So I don't think anyone was looking. And luckily I got an interview, and I was like, well, that's weird. And then through a series of events, I actually got the job. I was kind of shocked, to be honest with you. And I remember calling my mom, and I told her that I got the job. She's like, you? I was like, thanks for the endorsement. Anyways, so I get this job, never wanted to go to become an AP. And I had a great mentor. His name was Archie Lilico. And within about 2 days, I wanted to become a principal. And that's what I wanted to do. And so he knew this about me, and he really kind of got me to think about how to become basically this assistant principal would be like a principal in training role in his eyes. That's how he looked at his APs. I don't know an AP that Archie had that didn't go on to become a principal, because he said, hey, this is really important. You know, there's lots of stuff you can do as an AP, but I'm trying to develop you into leading your own school at some point. So he's such an incredible leader. I learned so much under him. He put me in situations where probably I wasn't quite ready for, and that's why he put me in there, because I had to figure it out. Because when you go into any role in education, there's going to be things that happen to you that you're not quite ready for, and you got to figure it out really, really quick. So the AP is going great. And then I went into this principal pool and was accepted. And then all of a sudden I was offered a position at a community I didn't want to go to. And I've told this story before, but I was really struggling because I really want to be a principal. I just didn't want to go there because it would really affect my personal life. And when I had this conversation with Archie, he actually said to me, if you don't take this job, what's going to happen? And I really thought about it. And I loved being an AP. I really loved the job. And I loved that community. I loved it. I still think about it all the time. It was a wonderful school community, and they were so nice to me. The staff, the students, the families. I loved it. And so I kind of talked to him about, yeah, it's, you know, I'd still be here. And he said to me, basically, so you will be stuck in a job that you currently love because you want that role so bad. You're going to take it, even though you might not like where you're at. The community might affect your personal life. So I reluctantly declined the job. And then my focus became on, I want to become even better assistant principal. And when I was talking to my friend about this, the thing that I learned from this process is if you focus too much on the future, what happens a lot of times, you lose the present and those opportunities go away from you because you are not serving the people in front of you. You're not paying attention to who you are. And you think about this a lot of times, I meet people that seem like they're kind of looking at someone else better to talk to, right? They're not really present with the person in front of them because they're always looking at opportunities. That to me is like just one of the most disrespectful things to do. It's that whoever you're talking to, if you're in there, you should be in that conversation. And we do this with our phones too, if we're being honest. We will be talking to someone and just go on our phone and just ignore them. And to me, that hurts you long term when you look at your phone. And I know sometimes there's emergencies, I get it, but be where you're at. And so instead of focusing so much on the future that I wanted to create for myself, I said, I just need to be the best assistant principal ever. And I did that. I really immersed myself. I wasn't the best assistant principal ever, but I really immersed myself in that community, really thought about innovative things and forward-thinking things that not only were never done in that school, but were never done in the school district. And many of those things that I led still are in that school to this day. And no one knows. I don't really care. It's the experience that I hope to create for kids. And this is, almost 15 years after the fact. And I'm very, very proud. And what happened was the superintendent saw, wasn't really happy that I said no to the job, but saw how much I put into it. And she said, yeah, we're going to give you this role, because she really recognized what I was doing. And so sometimes we want a job, we want something else. And we start focusing on it so much that we lose it. Sometimes, and let's be honest, we're like aiming. This is one of the conversations I have with my friend. He's really, talks about relationships and the relationship. I said, listen, do everything to build yourself to be the best version of you. And that relationship will happen. If you go searching for it, sometimes it won't find you. If you just focus on building yourself, it will come to you. So I'll share this quote again. If you spend your time chasing butterflies, they'll fly away. But if you spend time making a beautiful garden, the butterflies will come. Don't chase, attract. Build the best version of yourself. Really focus on what you can do in the present moment. And I promise you, as you build yourself up, as you really kind of be where you're at and give it your all, the future that you've always wanted will come way faster than you could ever expected. Just something I was thinking about as I was driving home. I hope it helps someone. I wanted to share it with you because it was a good reminder for myself that sometimes I get caught up in the things that are in the future that I don't really enjoy the present. And I'm maybe giving this talk to myself more than anyone else, but hopefully you can help someone else out there as well. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for being here. Have a wonderful day. Take care.